Oh, yeah. Where you at, Russell? Oh, he must be in there. Must be. Good morning, Fred. Good morning, Ken. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Frozen Tundra Network. I guess we're going to get this thing going. Oh, I don't know what's up with that, Brent. We're having a hard time finding Russell this morning. Probably went for a haircut. Love that call, Ken. Single Dads Club in the house. All right, let's just do this.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Not sure why I'm not showing up in here. Okay, what's going on here, buddy? I don't know. See, we need Russell Wayne in here badly. Where's going on? Can anyone hear me out there? Put it in the comments if you can hear me, please. That'd be great. Okay, we got nothing. I don't know what's going on here. Can you guys hear me? Morning, Mike. Morning, Brent. I hear you, Mike. Thank you, Jay. All right, you can hear me anyway. So that's good. Thank you, Jay. For some reason, I don't know why I am not showing up. I've probably never been so good looking in my life as I am right now because you just can't see me. So, hey, what's going on here? We'll see what's lit up here. Okay, let's hide that. And then let's put this up. Put this up. Nothing's working. Okay. Well, anyway, Sea Chickens. The Sea Chickens beat the Eagles. God, did anyone just love watching Matt Patricia on the sideline with that stupid face? The most punchable face I've ever seen, with that stupid pencil sticking out over his ear. Nothing thrilled me more than to watch Jackson Smith and Jigma haul in that beautiful throw and beat the Philadelphia Eagles last night. Man, was I loving that. And you know what? There's a lot of talk out there about the Lions being the 2 seed now. For some reason, my camera just isn't working. I don't know what's going on here. Stop cam. Start cam. And I know why it's not working. And we don't got Russ either. So this is a whole crazy morning today, folks. Detroit Lions on the cusp of winning the first division title in 30 years. It's a damn good feeling. Let's try banners here. The Lions, okay, that's not what we want, Brand. See, now Russ is the maestro. I just come in here and tell jokes and have bad takes. Russ is the one that puts all this together, and he is the maestro. And I think he's got something set here where I can't figure it out how to get myself on the screen. This is me right now, if you can see that. Solo layout. Let's go. Put me on there. Okay. Hey, there I am. All right. Figured that out. Solo layout is what that is. All right. I can't superimpose myself over it. Okay. I guess we're just going to run with this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Football Talk with Russell Wayne. As you can see, I am not Russell Wayne. I am actually Main Event Mike. And let's get that banner off of there. There we go. Main Event Mike, there's where it is. And as we were talking about here, the Lions looking at the 2 seed right now. It is not beyond the realm of possibility, folks, that San Francisco could lose to Baltimore. They would then have the same record as the Detroit Lions. Now, we went over this yesterday. Who would own the tiebreaker if we all finish with the same record, since we don't play San Francisco head-to-head this year? And Steve said, I thought it was a division. Steve set me straight and said it's the conference. I did not do the research to confirm that. If anyone else can confirm that that it is a conference record, then please let me know. There he is. Yeah, Russ is MIA. I think he went out for a haircut. Fred, I see you now, but I know I don't see John. I know you mean John Dorn for that. Yeah. The Packers all in hiding. Frozen Tundra says the Lions won't lose out. And yes, I'm happy with Green Bay's season so far. Well, that's a good take. You should be happy with Green Bay's season so far. At the beginning of the season, I was on the Frozen Tundra Network, and I asked everyone on the show, what are your expectations for your team this year? And no one expected them to do as well as they have done. They're already at 6 wins with 3 to go. They could win 9 games. They could back into the playoffs, in fact. So absolutely, Jordan Love is the real deal. You know who else is the real deal? Jordan Addison is the real deal in Minnesota. You know who else is the real deal? Sam Laporta is the real deal. Also, Montez Sweat, real deal. Jack Sanborn, Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Jaquan Brisker. They got some great pieces on that defense. We talked about it yesterday, and it just bears repeating that the NFC North is emerging as one of, if not the toughest division in the league. I remember last year it was all talking about the AFC West. Oh, boy, Russell Wilson now in Denver. Oh, boy, you got The Raiders are on the up. Oh boy, those Chargers, Justin Herbert, look out. They could go to the Super Bowl. No, they all shit the bed. Kansas City cruised to a division title and a Super Bowl win. AFC this year, looking a little more jumbled. You've got Baltimore leading the way at 10-3. They won yesterday, a hard game. They're looking really, really good, folks. And if the playoffs have to go through Baltimore and Lamar Jackson can stay healthy, you could be looking at Baltimore in the Super Bowl representing the AFC. The NFC, everybody thinks it's a foregone conclusion that the San Francisco 49ers are going to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I'm not so sure. They did lose 3 games in a row, folks. 3 games in a row. They got torched by Cincinnati. They got beat by Cleveland. And you know what? They got beat by Minnesota on Monday night. 3 games in a row. They showed that they were human. Yes, they're hitting their stride now. Yes, they're tough up and down the roster. They don't seem to have any holes. And when they're clicking on all cylinders, Kyle Shanahan can get that team to score and shut down the opponent's scoring. So they do look great. They probably are the best team in the NFC. But anything can happen in the playoffs. And they've proven this year already that they are not the 85 Bears. They are not the 72 Dolphins. They can be beat. And if the playoff road goes through Detroit, we are going to be very, very hard to beat. Put it in the comments. Let me know what you think on those topics. We'd like to say thank you to Detroit Lions News Podcast for letting us broadcast in there. Mike the Bear Fan, Detroit Lions Villain Squad, Lions Villain Squad, also Lions Main Event. We're also in Mike the Bear Fan, the Hallis Hall Report, good friends of ours. So wherever you're at, please like the video that you are watching. Give us an emoji because it kind of helps. Let's see if we can put something up here because Russ is so much better at this than me. Yeah, there you go. NFLshop.com. We are affiliate marketing partners with NFLshop.com. You can get your favorite NFL gear at 25% off if you use our link. Also, we're WWE affiliate marketing partner. So if you're a wrestling fan or if you want one of them dope Detroit Lions championship belts, you can actually get any team. Be sure to click our link. Thanks again to Mike the Bear Fan. And all the Chicago Bears out there. And, of course, we're broadcasting live in Detroit Lions News Podcast and Villain Squad page. Hey, see, I'm getting the hang of this. Why? Because, look, man, F your kneecaps. That's why. All right, who we got? What do we got here? Let's put something up in the background. Boy, I'm not good at this. This is why Russ does all this, and I do not. Okay, here we go. Nope, nothing. Nope. Yeah, I guess you got to take that off first. Okay. This thing is acting really weird. Hey, look at that. Now I got a background. Okay. All right. What's first on our topics today? Let's just go to the comments. This is a viewer-driven show. It's an interactive show. Let's give our shout-outs here first. Let's see here. Oh, boy, you guys are just rolling up these comments today. All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bear Down Mike. Rob Haspel's calm down. Well, Lions have to clinch a playoff berth when they clinch the division, but that 2 seed is in our grasp. It sure is. You know what? And the 1 seed is not out of reach either. The San Francisco 49ers still have to play Baltimore, Washington, and the Rams. Don't think for a minute that the Rams can't go into San Francisco and win that game. That's a division game, folks. Baltimore could absolutely beat them next week. And they go to Washington. They'll probably win that game. But at home, the Commanders can be very tough at home. Oh, boy, I hope I don't get a nasty email for saying that word. Like Chris Rock says, we could just totally end this whole Redskin thing if you guys would just put a potato on your helmet. What else we got in the comments? Yeah, that 2 seed is looking good for us. And honestly, I just don't want to be the 3 seed because then you got to play the 5 seed. And the 2 seed, I'd much rather play the 7. Wouldn't it be great if the Rams beat the Niners to get in the playoffs and then Matt Stafford has to come to Detroit to play the Lions in the playoffs? Man, would that be good. All right. We hear you. Okay. Can't hear, can't see. Something's going on. What's going on here? Let me check my phone. This is just a strange morning, folks. Russell Wayne never misses. This guy grinds like no other. And to see him not in here is really kind of alarming for me. Boy, did I love watching Jackson Smith and Jigba Hall in that catch last night to beat the Eagles. Fatty P giving up a 92-yard drive to Drew Lock to lose. It felt therapeutic. It sure did. Russ is MIA. Somebody says there he is. They're talking about me there. Frozen Tundra says the Lions won't lose out. And yes, I'm happy with Green Bay's season so far. All right. Jay says conference would make sense. Division would come into play for Eagles and Cowboys. Yeah, if you're going head-to-head against a division opponent for who gets into the playoffs, well, head-to-head we know is first, right? And the Lions didn't play the Niners, so we don't have that. Conference does make sense, but I want to confirm that. I mean, I don't even have time to Google at this point because I got to keep this show rolling. Russ is getting extensions. Yes. Good call, Mike. Or a weave. Jahmyr Gibbs is the real deal, too. No doubt about that. Speaking of that, Mike, I had Green Bay Vikings at 9 wins and the Bears at 7. Hey, that's an improvement for all of those teams. Except the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota Vikings still alive, by the way. They can beat the Lions 2 in a row. Don't think for a minute that they can't. And here's my question for you Lions fans. If we lose the first game in Minnesota, will you be worried? Will that PTSOL start to creep in? Huh? Because if we lose that, I mean, we only need one game to clinch. The pressure is on us. We need one game to clinch. I guess it's not, though, because if Minnesota has to win out. So I guess the pressure's really on them because all we need to do is win one game. But we've got 2 opponents in 3 weeks, and one of them happens to be the Dallas Cowboys in AT&T Stadium, which is a very, very hard place to win. Last year, the Lions were beating the Cowboys at halftime, 10-6. Came back and lost 24-10. Didn't score another point in the second half. And a lot of that, look, I'm about to hear Banya here, Habiba Islam. I see. I see. Delete comment. Block user. There you go, Habibi. Habibi means my love. I know this because I'm half Arabic. All right, what do we got? Susan says, listening to learn so I can keep up with my husband's football wisdom. I love it, Susan. Well, welcome to the show. We're very, very glad to have you. David says, I like the Lions' chances if they stay healthy. Right. Specifically that offensive line, David. If the Lions can keep Jared Goff clean, he can beat anyone. He's already proven it. The way to get to Jared Goff is put pressure on him and he turns the ball over. He starts to short arm throws. He gets nervous. That's the knock on Jared Goff. Always has been, probably always will be. He doesn't play good in cold weather. That's a number one. And if you put pressure on him, you can have him make mistakes, like playing tennis and hitting the ball into the net. Unforced errors. When you're putting pressure on Jared Goff, he will make mistakes. So if we can keep him clean, if we can stay healthy, like you say, David, then you're right. Your mom goes to college. Thanks, Jason. Yeah. One seed is still on the table, Jake. You're absolutely right. Like I said, man, these Niners could lose. They're not unbeatable. Somebody else might take them out in the playoffs, even if they do get the 1 seed. The Lions could control the playoff run if they get the 2 seed and the Niners lose. I love our chances if we only have to play at home for the playoffs, whether we're the 1 or the 2. We saw Kansas City come in as the 2 seed in the playoffs, win the Super Bowl because the 1 seed got knocked out. In fact, I don't believe Patrick Mahomes has ever played a road playoff game. He always gets them at home because they kick ass in the regular season. Might not be so easy this year for Kansas City. Okay. What's going on here? It's a PFF rankings. You know what I think is happening?
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Mike, how are you?
Hey, I love 2 shows on my wall. That's really awesome. Appreciate Mike the Bear fan. But I was just notifying you, letting you know the producer's totally in another show. You should go hit them up and talk together instead of separately.
That's too bad because I have like 40 viewers, Mike.
No, well, so does he. So if you combine them together, you guys are doing great. Just explain everything to the viewers that you're going to jump to the other feed.
Thanks for the heads up, Mike. Love you, man.
No problem. Great
here
show.
we go. Russell's joining our feed now.
Yeah, I'm here in this. What a bullshit thing Facebook did to us right here. I am so embarrassed on this. I'm sitting here talking to myself over there on the other side with 20 of the viewers, by the way. Whatever you got going on here.
I got 32, bro.
You got 32? Well, I had 25 viewers at the top on the other one. I'm wondering why I only had 25 viewers on the other one. So let's move over here because nobody was going to make the move. Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Mike. Appreciate you, brother.
You're welcome. I tune in quite often, but it's very seldom that I see 2 feeds.
Unbelievable.
It's all good.
Go ahead and take over, Mike.
Russ.
I'm gotta go fix some shit.
Go fix some shit, Russ. Hey, you okay, buddy? Was everything going all right over there? I mean, we got some great engagement.
No, it's not. It's not. That was like the biggest. It's like someone coming in and taking a freaking giant dump in the middle of your day right here. I worked my ass off all the way up until the show started. Didn't even have all the graphics done. Worked my ass off for 2.5 hours with a 4-year-old autistic baby running around my feed. And then Facebook decides to send my fucking stream to 2 different places at the same time. I am pissed. And I want to punch babies in the face, but I'm not going to do that.
All right, well, go kick a puppy. We got this together, brother. I like it's PFF Tuesday though. I gotta have you, man.
Yeah, I know. But I gotta go to the other places. Just talk for a minute.
Hey, I'm
and stop talking to me so
Okay.
I can go fix all the shit on all the places that had 3 freaking broadcasts going.
Don't pull your hair out.
Oh shit.
All right. So I want to say thank you to all the people in the comments who's bearing with us on this crazy Tuesday that we're having today. Man, we got some great viewers, some great fans here, Russ. They're putting in some great comments. Detroit fan, man, I told him that you guys weren't here because you were out getting a haircut. And somebody said you were probably getting extensions. And Jeffrey Addison says, hey, it's 2 for Tuesday.
Hey, you gotta love it when you're on 2 separate feeds. Be like, yeah, I don't know where Russell is. He never misses. And then he's like, I don't know where Mike is. He don't miss.
Yeah, I just thought that you were just late doing your thing.
No, I got in here. I started at like 11:05. I'm like, well, we got to get this thing going. I don't know where he's at. All right, let's quit. What I've been talking about over here, Russ, is talking about that wonderful Seahawks victory over Matty Fatty Patricia and his stupid face and that stupid pencil over his ear and how wonderful it was. I don't care that we didn't back into a playoff spot. You know what? If we lose out and we miss the playoffs, that would be an absolute tragedy.
Playoffs.
However, seeing them lose really soothed my soul. The day I found out that Matt Patricia was taking over that defense, the minute I should say that I found out, I was rooting against the Eagles from there on. By the way, they announced that Matt Patricia would be the defensive coordinator of the Eagles, and Darius Slay had this to say. Damn it! Anyway, moving on. David says the entire playoff scenario is great. I agree 100%, Dave. No team can really back in. Each game is really important, especially for the wild card teams. You're right, with 9 different teams vying for 3 spots. The drama is unfolding. It's palpable. Choked on my spit. Sorry. The NFL has got exactly what they wanted. They have drama. They have parity between these teams. And we've said this already a few times this year. 2023 is shaping up to be the most exciting football season I've ever witnessed. And that doesn't even include because the Lions are relevant. Okay? Lions on the cusp of winning their first division title in 30 years, folks. This is big news if you're a Lions fan. Welcome, Sarah. Okay, are we back? We're back, Sarah. Jake says, these are the tie-breaking scenarios according to NFL.com. That literal palpation. Palpable. Is that what I said? I don't know. Schedule makers got it right, Paul. Feels like the playoffs started last week with 3 to go. Man, are you so right. The only thing I don't like is that the Giants shit the bed this year, and the Giants are so crappy, which means Philadelphia gets the Giants 2 out of 3 games. And who do they get sandwiched in there? Arizona. So Philly looking really good for the last 3 games. They should be able to beat the Giants on either field and beat the Arizona Cardinals. So we could be looking at Philly winning out. So that makes it all that more important for the Lions to win out. I know a lot of these Lions fans say, I don't care if we win out. I don't care how many we win, as long as we win the division. No. We want the number 1 seed, folks. Don't get it confused. Don't get it twisted. We want the number 1 seed. For once, I think Patricia has found his home. They love his significant coaching. Yeah. You know what I heard was that during the pregame warmups, the Seattle Sea, or was it last week? They played the audio of that Matt Patricia just berating Darius Slay before he left Detroit, and that they played that to get under the Philadelphia Eagles' skin. I think it was Dallas last week that did that, and of course Dallas went on to just annihilate him. Now Darius Slay has surgery out for the year, so not really that big of a deal now. Jeffrey Addison says Santa's bringing the Lions and their fans a division title and playoff berth on Christmas Eve. Ooh, I love that call. So you think we're going to win? We're going to win in Minnesota next week and clinch the division. Would be nice. Would have been nice if Bears won all 4 North teams in the playoff race. Yeah, it would have been nice, Mike. And you almost had the Lions. You almost had us here in Ford Field, but 2 touchdowns and a safety in the last 3 minutes ruined that for you. All right, so I like this one here. Mike saying, I'm calling a split for Philly and New York. Well, that would be great. If New York can win one of those 2 games against Philly, not only conference, but division as well, loss for Philly, that will definitely help the Lions' chances. Let's talk about these Minnesota Vikings, 7-7. They control their own destiny, folks. If they beat the Lions 2 out of 3 of their last games, let's see who else does Minnesota have. They have Green Bay. They have Green Bay, and they play them at home. So if they can beat Detroit, then beat Green Bay, come to Detroit in week 18 and beat the Lions, they're in. They are in. And, you know, something that I was thinking was that this next week, the Vikings might start Josh Dobbs. Sarah, Sebastian, you guys are in our comments. You're Viking fans. Zoe, I don't know if you're out there. If there's a Viking fan out there, please tell me, who do you want to start at quarterback against the Detroit Lions? Nick Mullins? He didn't look too bad. He was 26 of 33. That's a real good completion percentage. 26 of 33 against the Cincinnati Bengals for 303 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, on a 99.9 passer rating. Ty Chandler came alive, 132 yards. He also had 25 yards receiving. Jordan Addison, 2 touchdowns. This kid's the real deal. If it wasn't for C.J. Stroud, I think the Offensive Player of Rookie of the Year award would be a neck-and-neck race right now between Jordan Addison and Sam Laporta, hands down. Unfortunately, C.J. Stroud plays quarterback, and they have a leg up in these kinds of awards. They're almost like quarterback awards. So if now he's hurt right now, if C.J. Stroud misses a lot of time, we could be seeing one of these 2 players as the Offensive Rookie of the Year. But back to the point. If you're a Vikings fan and you're out there, who do you want to start at quarterback? Nick Mullins, who's more like Kirk Cousins. He's a pocket passer. He didn't look terrible. He made some incredible throws, actually. I actually like this kid. Or do you start Josh Dobbs? Not because of what Nick Mullins did or didn't do, but because of the Detroit Lions, the matchup. We struggle against running quarterbacks. It's just a fact. You could look at our losses this year. Mobile, athletic quarterbacks. Just when you think Jordan Love, you've got him contained, he busts out for a 34-yard run up the sideline. that killed us. We were taking control of that game on Thanksgiving. We had the worst quarter of our 3 seasons. We had the worst quarter. We're down 20-6 at the end of 1. And just as we're getting the momentum back, Jordan Love busts a long run up the sideline and seals the deal. So running quarterbacks give the Lions trouble. Would you start Josh Dobbs if you're a Vikings fan? Even if you're not a Vikings fan, let me know. Do you think that's a good call? Welcome back to the program, Russ.
Yeah, I went through and I got rid of the other ones. I think that helped because now we don't have as much confusion going on. And I was listening to what you were saying about how we can't stop running quarterbacks, and you brought up how, you know, in the past and, you know, games earlier in the season, how we had trouble stopping running quarterbacks. And then, you know, we play this guy this week named Russell Wilson, who is a running quarterback.
No.
And we destroyed him. Okay, we're not going to give that.
No.
Wait. Okay, so what? Go.
That's
why,
me.
Why
That's
not?
me. You're entitled to your opinion, but Russell Wilson is 105 years old, and he has no. He had 7 rushes for 6 yards.
Yeah, because we stopped him.
Okay.
If you want, have you went back to his other games where Russell Wilson was turning into Russell Wilson of old when they won 7 of 8 games going into that games? But Lion fan does this, and the people from the outside do this as well, as they love to minimize all of the Lions' wins, and they love to go back to the one spot where it wasn't really working out that well for them and say, well, we got to worry about this happening, when really the most recent history means we just stopped a running quarterback. And this guy does extend plays. He goes out. Well, I'm just saying, he's a mobile quarterback.
That's fine. I didn't say we lose to every running quarterback, but 3 of our losses, Justin Fields, Geno Smith, these guys are running quarterbacks.
Okay, that's fine. But
Lamar Jackson?
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, and that has been pointed out ad nauseum, week after week after week. And we're not even talking about like what you were talking about earlier, which is the fact that the Lions could win out. And if the Lions win out, could they get the number 1 seed? Now, we've already been through every scenario, and I guess I'm cocky for thinking that we could win out, but other people aren't cocky for thinking that we can lose out while they win out. So what happens if the Lions aren't fool's gold? What happens if the Lions are actually good and they do win out and they go in, take care of business, get the division this week?
Okay. I said something that you didn't like. I get it. But the question was, if you were the Vikings, would you start Josh Dobbs or Nick Mullins in lieu of the fact that the Lions struggle against running quarterbacks? Not that they can't beat a running quarterback, but they struggle against running quarterbacks. Would you start Dobbs over Mullins?
Okay, yes. Here's the thing. Please, for the love of God, start Josh Dobbs. I want you to start Josh Dobbs because Nick Mullins gives you the best chance to beat the Detroit Lions in week 16. So if you want to go out there on that mantra that Lions can't stop running quarterbacks and that's why you start Josh Dobbs, please, for the love of God, start Josh Dobbs, because we will own that in the exact same way that we just owned Russell Wilson, because he's not more mobile than Russell Wilson is. But I guess he had a couple of good runs in a couple of games, and I guess he's the second coming.
Can I cut you off here, Russ? We've been bombarded this morning with people in the comments trying to sell shit. And we've got some nefarious stuff going on in the comments. So if you're in the comments, please, this Annika Akhtar, or there's also one called Habibi Islam. If you guys see them, don't click on anything there, please. We're trying to delete them and keep this clean, but you know how it is on the internet. Go ahead, Russ. Sorry.
I'm looking for them.
It's because I keep deleting them. You won't find them.
Oh, good. I don't want to see them. And they get
And
blocked.
banning them. I'm banning them and deleting them as I go.
And that's good. And that's what happens to you when you come in and try to bombard our show with a bunch of bullshit. That's what happens to you. And we can go off. But I'm feeling much better now. that we've been going through, and it is PFF Tuesday, and I wanted to kind of get into these PFF scores. We'll start with Chicago because we got Mike the Bear fan in there. As long as he isn't using a jackhammer in the background, I'd love to bring you back onto the show. Okay, that's it. Yeah, where are you at? Are you?
Oh, I'm actually working, and when I'm driving, I tune into the show, and it was funny. I tuned into the show, and there was 2 shows.
Yeah. Well,
but no, I got to give credit to the Lions. Congratulations, Lions! You are going to win your first title as the North.
We are not going to count those chickens yet, my friend.
I'm giving it to you. I said it at the beginning of the year. I'm still going to give it to you. All you got to do is basically win one.
Yeah, this is like when you're shooting pool and the guy's on the 8 ball and you go, good game. Just to put the pressure on him to miss the shot. I know what this is.
Well, let's get in here and talk about the Chicago Bears defense first, because we'll talk about the good right here. Because the way that I usually run these PFF's grades is if it's above 70, then I want to give you a mention, and if it's below 55, then I'm going to also give you a mention for being a dud. Now, the Chicago's defense played so good that we got all of these players, and Mike can probably read them better than me, but led with Montez Sweat. And you have all these different players that played well on defense with Montez Sweat, Jalen Johnson, TJ Edwards, Andrew Billings, Tremaine Edmonds, Justin Jones, Jack Sanborn, and Rashad Green, all graded out of their minds because they took the corpse of Joe Flacco and made him have an awful game. And the defense played well enough to win, in my opinion. What do you think, Mike?
I think that the Cleveland defense is elite. They're one of the best in the league. And the fact that the Bears had a chance to win this game at the end. And gosh, how did Darnell Mooney not catch that ball? I know a lot of Bear fans out there are calling for Darnell Mooney right along with Luke Getsy. Mike, the Bear fan, you think Mooney cashed his ticket out of Chicago with that drop?
I kind of said it at the beginning of the year when we drafted Tyler Scott. I feel like this is his last year. If we do sign him, it'll be cheap, but I think he walks at the end of this year.
Tyler Scott had a big drop.
Yeah, so did Robert Tonyan in the first quarter, like on the money in stride. But I mean, Tyler Scott's a rookie. Mooney's not.
Good call.
Yeah, I didn't want to embarrass you on this. I didn't even get a chance to, because I didn't get all of the stuff done. But one of the things I didn't get done was your duds. But I am going to list them off. But all of these guys great: Robert Tonyan, Nate Davis, Foreman, Braxton Jones, Khalil Herbert, Justin Fields, Cody Whitehair, Darnell Mooney, Roshan Johnson. All of those guys scored under 55 on PFF and had bad games. I mean, you can really look at the tail of the tape. You can see offensively what the Cleveland Browns were doing to you. And it isn't just your offense being bad. That is what Cleveland has been doing to teams all year long. And it doesn't matter who you are, including the San Francisco 49ers.
Right. Just like you said, the Cleveland Browns defense is pretty stellar.
All right. I know offensively, yeah, there wasn't much to brag about right there, but gosh, man, we only got 20 minutes left. We dropped the ball today. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting into the Vikings offense. Jordan Addison had a good game. Ty Chandler had a good game. TJ Hawkinson had a good game, and Justin Jefferson had a good game. And none of the players graded below 55, so they were all pretty good.
And those
offensively.
Those 4 names, right?
And that's
there.
it. I mean, everybody wants to give
gotta,
Nick Mullins. He was pretty accurate when you look at the box score. But if you watch the game on some of the stuff that he just took 2 steps back and just chucked this ball up, and luckily you had a guy like Jordan Addison or TJ Hawkinson to jump up and catch it. A lot like the other side too. Jake Browning threw a couple ducks up into the air that, T. Higgins made him look like a hero in that game. Now Vikings on or not. Oh, wait. Oh, shoot. Viking defense. You had a couple standouts with Byron Murphy and Sheldon Day, but it's mostly duds when it comes to that. I did throw.
Yeah. And that Minnesota defense, every week we've been talking about Cameron Bynum and Metellus, that these guys were balling out. Metellus didn't even make the list, and Cameron Bynum, a 34.
Yeah. Not a good game for the Viking defense and against Jake Browning. I mean, I know that he's been playing well and you want to throw it out there, but you can't lose to a backup quarterback in a playoff race. This is the game that's probably, I would say it would have taken the air out of your sails. If I'm a Viking, that's hard to overcome when that's happening. Now you put all of the pressure on you. You got to win out, and then you have to pray that the Lions lose in Dallas. And Dallas didn't. They didn't really impress me all that much this week. They seem like they've been figured out. So let's get into these Green Bay Packers. They actually had a pretty good offensive game, according to PFF. And when you look at these, I put because a lot of people don't know who the offensive linemen are, but this is a lot of offensive linemen right here. Rasheed Walker, Jenkins, Tom, Newman. So the offensive line played pretty well, other than the duds, where the center and the right guard, and that's probably where you lost the game. In that, I would think in that part of the offensive line, when you talk about the people that had the really bad games, in that, Dontavian Wicks, Jaden Reed, Heath. I mean, you got a good core of wide receivers there in Green Bay. What do you think about that, Mike?
Yeah, they do. Only 60 yards rushing in the game against Tampa Bay. I would have liked to see them run the ball more, control the clock a little bit more. It wasn't so bad. Aaron Jones was 13 carries, 53 yards. I mean, that's solid. Okay. And you saw there that some of their best graded players from PFF was the offensive line. I don't know why they threw the ball so much. Jordan Love looked good, 29 of 39. A lot of these Packer fans are putting it on defensive coordinator Joe Barry. You gave up 34. Baker Mayfield looked like, goodness gracious, he looked like Kurt Warner in The Greatest Show on Turf. You give up a passer rating of 158.3 to Baker Mayfield. So tough loss for the Pack. I mean, they needed that one. They lose to the Giants and Tommy Cutlets the week before. That was tough. They come back to their friendly confines of Lambeau Field and lose to the Buccaneers. Tough one, buddy. Oof.
Right there. See what we got here. The Packer defense, and this is where you really dudded it out right here. I mean, you got all of these players that you usually have been counting on. Looks like Corey Ballantyne got figured out. Eric Stokes. I mean, these are all people that I'm looking at that you're counting on moving forward, and they definitely did not have a good game, other than Kingsley Enagbare. Oh, okay. I didn't know. I thought it was silent. Anyway, 90.7. Good game out of him, but outside of that, you can see why they lost the game just looking at the numbers. Now the fun part.
Can I call this comment out real quick, Russ?
Call it out before we get it. Then we're going to get into the Lions.
Okay. Steve says Vikings should go after Browning. That's a player that they cut. The Minnesota Vikings had Jake Browning, and they cut him. And right after the game, Jake Browning looks right into a camera and goes, "Guess you shouldn't have cut me." Woo!
Wow, man. And then he immediately ran down, found T. Higgins and said, "I'm going to buy you a steak dinner tonight. I'm going to send your kids to college. thank you for jumping up and catching that duck I threw up in the air
What a
and
play.
saving my ass. Oh, gosh.
It's almost like T. Higgins played defensive back and made an interception because that ball was coming right to the DB, and he just slipped in, jumped above him, grabbed it, reached his arm backwards as he's falling. What a play.
He made another catch like that earlier in the game. I think it was in the first quarter that he just Browning just kind of chucked it up there and he made a play. Jamar Chase too. That one right down the sideline that he just dropped it right in the bucket right there.
Sarah says Browning was on our practice squad, but the previous regime let him go. I didn't know that it was the previous regime. I mean, Quezzy was still there. It might have been the other coach, Mike Zimmer, but
now Sarah's been known as being a Quezzy apologist, and that's all right though. You can like that. That's a thing. That's a good thing. Lions fans don't have a lot of apology people. Lions fans are harder on their team than the opposing teams. That was a hilarious open mic. It was like 2 weeks ago. After the win, and Robert was in there, and I think Steve Israel was in there, and you let the Nug go first. And he just laid into the Lions for like 5 straight minutes. And Robert's like, I'm good. He pretty much covered it all right there.
Yeah, Lions fans roasting their own team. And then the Packer fan gets a chance to roast us. And he goes, yeah, I think that guy just said it all.
And then when it comes to something like this, where we're feeling good, this is where the people that love roasting, and I'm like, wow, look at all these great offensive players and how they did. Hey, Russ, pump the brakes, buddy. Hold on. Here's the 5 reasons why this good play is just pump the brakes, Ross. I know St. Brown had a good game. Well, I know that like all of your offense had good. But what is it that what is the frozen tundra on here? You want me to read this? That's blocking
I had to highlight a comment to read a different comment, and I forgot to take it off. My bad.
Yeah, it had to be the frozen tundra right there. But look at all these players. Like I didn't have any duds in there that I wanted to throw in there with the 42 points right there. 90.1 for St. Brown, Gibbs, Sewell, Goff, Glasgow, Laporta, Ragnow, Jameson, and Reynolds. Like the whole damn offense really seemed like it took a step forward this week. And that was against a defense that was leading the NFL in takeaways. And it was a big question mark going into the game. And I think that they silenced a lot of the doubters when it comes to this offense. When you're running through this starting offensive line, when you have the starting 5 out there, I saw a stat. I wish that I have it to throw it up, but it was just phenomenal. When we have all 5 of these offensive linemen, the numbers that we put up is it could be legendary. Could be a legendary, Mike. But you want to make a comment on this offense?
Sure. Look at the names. I mean, it's everybody on the offense. It's just, Laporta, 3 touchdowns. Where's Jared Goff? What was Jared Goff's rating? He's my nominee for Lion of the Week tomorrow.
Well, he's in there at 83.8 in total. Let me see.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that there. Maybe I need to put my glasses back on.
Yeah, I have a hard time seeing it too. We're getting old here, so I'm gonna need to get these reading glasses, and if I make typos, that's the reason why. I'm blaming it on that.
I get new glasses here in less than a month. I have to wait for January to get my new glasses. I won't look like Jeffrey Dahmer anymore.
I'm trying to the lowest graded player that had more than 10 snaps was actually Donovan Peoples-Jones, 56.3.
Mm-hmm.
And but everybody else was like that 58.2, 59.8 for James Mitchell, and then like Leaf was the lowest rated player at 64.3, which is actually still good.
How about Levi Onwuzurike or Josh Pascal?
Oh, you want to get into the defense?
defense,
I'm
yeah.
glad that you brought that up. Kendall Vildor was the
How about that,
top-rated-
Mike? How about that, Mike, the Bear fan? Kendall Vildor, our highest rated player.
Now in the defense,
We can't hear you.
Yeah, he can. He has his own control. He can jump in whenever he wants. Right there. Let me bring it.
There
Go
he
ahead,
is.
Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
I said every dog has its day. Vildor did terrible for us. He had a good game here and there, but obviously he stood out last game for you.
Well, I mean, 18 snaps. 18 snaps. I mean, it's not like they have him out there the whole damn time. So it's like
Nickel.
in small doses, we're looking at this. Kendall Vildor and 18 snaps. Levi Onwuzurike, 14 snaps, but he graded out well. That's nice to see him on there. And I wanted to put some honorable mentions out there for the defense. As you can see, those, that's pretty good right there when you're looking at the guys that you want to be playing well. You want your secondary playing well. So there's 3 names on there. And then you want your defensive linemen to be able to get home. But honorable mention to Broderick Martin, who had 11 snaps and graded out at 65.6 on his snap. So it was nice to see the 3rd round draft pick out there contributing and not, looking out of sorts. Who else did you want? Ife Melifanu had a 92 grade in pass rush. He had a 65.5 overall grade. Josh Paschal had a 68.6. He had a great game, 72 in tackling. He got a pass rush. He got a push in the middle. So I was very impressed mostly with the Lions defense in this game. I love the offense is our defense when it comes to the Lions. Like the style that they want to play is turnover defense, like defenses that are aggressive, that tries to force turnovers, and an offense that can just step on the gas and push the game out of sorts. We're like the Mike Tyson style of playing football.
Fred wants to know, what was Ife Melifonu's PFF grade?
Man, this is how I can tell that you don't listen to me while you're in that mode, because I literally just said Ife Melifonu's grade. It was nice to have him grade out. He had a 92.5 pass rushing grade and a 65.5 overall grade. If he was really good.
I was just reading the comment, brother.
Josh Paschal played very well. Yeah, but I mean, that's what I literally
and I didn't remember the exact number. So somebody asked after you said it. So I'm reiterating.
Iffy.
But you can take it out on me. That's what I'm here for.
Ife Melifanu, Broderick Martin played well. Isaiah Buggs. How did you like seeing the big fat man running down the field? And that was cool. It reminded me of Sean Rogers, the big Sean Rogers rumbling down the field. Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
You're talking about a Sean Rogers fumble recovery 18 years ago?
Yes. And
yeah, I remember that.
That's what it reminded me when I was watching big Isaiah Buggs run down the field on that fumble recovery. And I think that was a big turning point in the game, as it was said. But let's get in here and let's Lions are not as good as the good teams. Is that a true or a false statement? This is a narrative we've been putting out there. And now I got Mike, who's out there working with the jackhammer. But what do you think? Are Lions as good as the good teams? Is that true or false?
Hey, Russ, what was Ife Melifonu's PFF score?
PFF score, Ife Melifanu, 65.5. You got to give me a hard time, man.
I'm just reading the comments.
Answer your question. The Lions can play good, but they got their off days. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, they kept up with KC, stuff like that, but they got beat by the Bears. The Bears really aren't that good. The defense is good, but the offense is struggling.
Yeah,
So
you guys.
I think they're going to struggle in the playoffs.
Okay, so you're saying that Lions aren't as good as the good teams. That would be a true statement to you. Now, what about you, Mike? When you're looking, are you looking at this graphic? Do you know that this I have what I'm going for here? I just want to make sure that you're looking at it and you're not looking at like Joe Blow's comment.
I'm looking at it.
Hey man, what's Josh Pascal's PFF grade?
We have a couple of requests for Iffy Melifonwu's PFF grade, if that was handy. The Lions aren't as good as the good teams. That's just a dumb statement. I think that's false. The Lions are definitely as good as the good teams. In fact, they are a good team. You don't get to 10-4 and not be a good team unless you're the 2022 Vikings.
I like the way that this is phrased, because this is what's being thrown back at us, and it's valid, because you can go back to the data or whatever, and you can say, hey, we haven't played good team, and even the victory that we rest our. We plant our flag on, that KC victory, the more and more they get their faces kicked in, and, Mahomes looks like a Karen out there, then the less and less that victory looks good. So you can actually look back at all of our victories and they can point at them and find the flaws in them. They don't like the way that we won. So that's why we bring it up. And I want to know what you think out there. I mean, it doesn't matter whether you're a Bear fan, Viking fan, Lion fan, or Packer fan. Lions aren't as good as the good teams. That's the narrative that's out there. Is that a true or a false statement?
I think Rob, Mike Fisher answers it. All of the top teams have lost to cupcakes.
Correct.
Very true.
Correct. Right. You can make the exact. So you could actually go and say, hey, San Francisco's not as good as the good teams. Well, they lost 3 games in a row to the Browns, the Vikings. I mean, they lost to the Vikings and a backup quarterback, did they not?
They did, and they got on Monday Night Football too.
The Philadelphia Eagles. You really believe in the Philadelphia Eagles with Matt Patricia as their defensive coordinator? Are the Lions really as good as the good teams? What's the other one that we're compared to that we can't beat in this? I think that's it. You got the Eagles and the 49ers and the Cowboys. So we get to play the Cowboys. Yeah. And the Cowboys just got truck stick ran all over
by a good team.
By a good team that doesn't have a good rushing attack.
They ran all over them that night.
And they ran all over them anyway. So that's why I asked the question. I'm not trying to, I'm not getting too cocky right here. I'm just saying the Lions are a 10-4 team. And this was a very good Denver team that they beat last week. They play as good on defense. They won 7-8. It was a hot team. And, all of our rivals thought we were going to lose the game. That was a trap game for sure. And they went and took care of business. Now, they do need consistency. I feel that right there. Let's get into some of these other questions that we didn't really get into yesterday. So, we did talk about this a little bit, but I want to keep this as a narrative all week right here. Which team in the NFC North is set up the best for the future? Now, I'm not talking about right now. I mean, I'm talking about, we could be moving on from Jared Goff here within the next couple of days. I'm talking about this year. This year's behind us. But from next year forward, who is set up the best? And we'll start with you, Mike. You got some input on that? Why you think it's the Bears?
Oh, I think it's the Bears or the Lions. Lions been doing real good the past few years on building their team, and the Bears has been doing it for the last couple of years. And ever since they got sweat, their defense went from one of the worst to the top 5. So if Poles can hit another home run on this draft board next year in free agency, because we're going to have millions and millions of dollars to spend again, we could be. But my issue is the play calling. The play calling has got to get better. I think Getsky's out at the end of this year, which is kind of bad for Fields because you want, your offensive coordinator and everything to build. And Justin Fields really haven't had that. You know what I mean? This is his second year with the organization. He just needs someone better offensive mindset, and I don't think Getsky's it.
So you think they get rid of Getsky and they move forward? Do you think they keep moving forward with the Fields, or are they gonna, or do you think that they're going to use one of those first 2 picks on a quarterback of the future, and then
Well, I've been saying it on my show with my crew and everything. None of us think we're going to get rid of Fields. I don't think we're going to draft a quarterback. I think we're going to ride with Fields. He's been getting better and better every year. Yeah, he's got to work on some things, but what quarterback doesn't? You know what I mean?
I like that. And so that's this is Mike the Bear fan from Mike the Bear fan, the page, and the Hallis Hall Report every Wednesday. And they also go live before all of the games on Sunday as well. So if you're a Bear fan, go over there. They just hit 10,000 followers, puts up good content up there. And what do you think about that, Mike? Who's set up the best for success?
I'm going to say, obviously, it's the Lions because of the way Brad Holmes has made a fluid salary cap, but I'm going to go with the Green Bay Packers. Everything in this league is predicated on quarterback play, and Jordan Love has shown me enough to show me that he is going to be the quarterback of the future in Green Bay. He is not going to be a bust like we originally thought. He's going to end up winning more games than Aaron Rodgers did in his first year with less team around him. I think that quarterback is in place in Green Bay. That sets them up for the future. And also, look at all the skill positions. They have a bevy of young receivers. They're the youngest team in the league. Okay, and no one wants to play them now. They're absolutely set up for the future, better than the Bears or the Vikings. I disagree with Mike, the Bear fan. I think the Bears absolutely will draft a quarterback. Ryan Poles has to draft a quarterback to secure his own job. Everyone knows that Kevin Warren is the one that calls the shots there in Chicago. And you cannot fire Ryan Poles without letting him – if you want him to cook the dinner, you got to let him buy the groceries, right? Like Bill Parcells said, you got to let me do the shopping. You got to give Ryan Poles at least another year or two before you can let him go. And look, they won more games already than they did last year. They're going to win double the games they won last year. But everyone in Chicago is talking about fire Getsy, fire Eberflus. Well, that's fine, but they're not going to fire Ryan Poles. So they have to draft a quarterback. It's all about quarterback play in this league, folks. Everyone knows that. So I think it's definitely the Green Bay Packers who are set up the best. They are free to go into this draft in 2024 and start plucking studs on the offensive line, defensive line, secondary. Those 3 areas, yep. I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers spent every single draft pick on those 3 areas, offensive line, and defensive secondary. They got good linebackers. They got really good defensive linemen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can never have enough O-linemen. You can never have enough secondary pieces. And that's the weakness of this Green Bay Packer team. Their run defense is not good. So right. I think they have freedom. They have a lot of freedom. There's no pressure for the Packers to go and get a game changer because they've got an offense that can put up 25 a game if their defense can hold opponents in check. So I think it's Green Bay.
Yeah. You know what? I think I can answer it threefold with this because, obviously, to me, the answer is the Lions. But I think that if you're building a team right, then there can be more than one answer. And I think that there's 3 teams in this division that have a really good shot at making this the black and blue division again, right? And I'm not even out on the Minnesota Vikings because I'm going to go ahead and say the other 3 teams for the reasons that you just said. The biggest question in Green Bay is, you've seen 1 year of Love. Are you prepared to pay him $50 million a year after 1 year's worth of service? Do you just let him play out this next year's contract and then sign him, maybe even franchise tag him?
Yes.
But that's not a bad problem to have, guys. That means that you got a quarterback that's cheaper right now that you're going to be able to build through. You got 2 second-round draft picks. I like that situation. I love the Bears situation. If I'm living vicariously my old Madden franchise, that's the type of shit I used to do. Let's get rid of all our old players right here. Let's get some draft picks. Let's trade down in the draft. Let's get, I want a 1 and a 4, and that it's a Madden player's dream, that what the Bears are doing right now. And I love it. They're going to have 2 top 5 picks. And I agree with you, Mike. I think they'll move on from Justin Fields. They'll either trade him or they'll just keep him on the team as a very dangerous gadget player, because if you put him out there with the threat to run pass with a quarterback that is a pocket type of quarterback that can, like the Caleb Williams, if you put those guys out there together, that's actually pretty exciting. But you draft other pieces. I mean, they have so many pieces. That's why I love that Montez Sweat picking him up. I thought they paid way too much for him, but they got the capital. It's like telling a millionaire, oh man, that watch is way too expensive. So I don't give a shit. I got a ton of money and I'm just going to do it. I got capital. I got, they going into this here, everybody, let's get that. We'll pay too much for it. Then we'll just throw a bag of money at them because we're drafting good too. So the core of the team is being set with all of these good young players in Chicago. I love their situation going forward. And now the Lions, they're just more ready right now. That doesn't mean I think they're going to be that much better than all these teams. I think it's going to be like Foreman Ali here for the next couple years, where it's going to be a free-for-all. It isn't like the Green Bay Packers and then the rest of the shitty teams anymore. It's like, I think there's got to be 3 heavyweight contenders. And when you look at the Vikings, what can I say other than they're going to lose a lot of really good old players, right? Really good. You're going to lose Zadarius Smith. He ain't going to be there forever. And the thing is, Brian Flores took whatever they had, dishwashers and drywallers, put them together and made them into a good defense. So you can't count the Minnesota Vikings out. They could draft a quarterback and be right back in the thick of things. So, man, who's set up the best? I think I went through all of them. Mike had a good take on that too. What do you think in the comments? Who is set up the best for success? Let's see here. Cousins won't be back. Yeah, there you go. Do you think that they could re-sign Kirk Cousins over there, Mike? I mean, is that
Sarah
is that
thinks so? Sarah makes a good point in the comments that he might take a deal because Kirk wants to stay. He is over 35 years old now, so I mean, I think if I'm Kirk Cousins, I milk as much as I can out of my career in Minnesota, get to throw to a budding star in Addison and the best wide receiver in the game in JJ. They got one of the best tight ends in the league. Hell yeah, I want to be there if I'm Kirk Cousins. So I think they absolutely could. But I mean, you guys were bashing Kirk Cousins when he was carrying your team
right
in the first 5 weeks of the season. So, does the fan base of Minnesota even want him back? Hey, let's pay some bills right quick. What do you think of that, Russ?
Yes, pay some bills. Right as I'm pulling up the Frozen Tundra Network. Okay,
yeah,
go
let's
ahead.
pay some bills. You are watching Football Talk with Russell Wayne. It's every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Don't forget NFC North Open Mic Night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday nights. That's our shows, 6 shows per week. Be sure to go over to Facebook, follow our page. It's Lions Villain Squad. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Main Event 365. We'd love for you to join our group too. It's Lions Main Event is the name of the group. In the group, we get a lot of great, what we call roast posts, a lot of funny stuff going on in there. Join the group, join the conversation, follow what we do, because we appreciate you all so much, more than you even know. And by the way, I see we have like 38 viewing on this platform, but only 21 likes. So if you are viewing, please reach down and click the like button, please, won't you? Thank you.
I love that, Mike. You do that so good. It's like top notch. You're top notch at delivering all the information right there. Last week, Dan Campbell had said that we have a resilient team right here and we will bounce back. And that was after that Chicago loss. It seems like the fan base would panic, and he's just had this mentality the entire time. Like this There's no up, no down. Even on the wins, they don't get too far up. You know what they say? They said this is a really, really good Minnesota Viking team that we're going to be facing this week, and we got to get ready to face. And it is not the same Minnesota Viking team from last year. It is not even close. Now, it doesn't mean that I think that they're any better, any worse, but the team's built differently. The defense definitely looks a lot different. The offense is running a lot differently because it's had to. And you've been used to a wide receiver driven offense that all of a sudden got TJ Hawkinson infused into it. And now I think that, all of those guys together, that's a formidable team right there. Cousins offered to change his contract to free up cap space to save players and bring players in. His only request is to extend his contract. Vikings brass denied him. That's what Jeffrey says. Is that true?
That's absolutely true. And that goes to what we were saying here, whether if I'm Kirk, I would definitely, well, you know what? Maybe Kirk's going to play hardball with him. I mean, because of that, what Jeffrey pointed out right there, that's absolutely true. That was very well reported that Kirk says, hey, let's get this extension done now. And Minnesota went, no, we're going to just wait and see what happens. Because, hey, look, they let Eddie look, Minnesota did not have high expectations going into this year. I know they didn't. Brian Flores has got this defense playing over their heads, have all year. Kudos to him. He's got to be a head coaching candidate moving forward. He did so good against Miami as a head coach, interim head coach. He got absolutely shafted down there in Miami, and kudos to Kevin O'Connell. And earlier in the comments, there was some speculation about Kevin O'Connell being fired. Stop the crazy talk. That guy's a great young head coach. Kevin O'Connell could coach my team any day.
Absolutely. Right there. Now I want to bring up this part right here is something that you put up into the Villain Squad, and it got incredible engagement on our page. So if you go over to the Villain Squad, cast your vote. Is Aiden Hutchinson an elite player? That's the question. And put it into the comments, and I encourage you to go over to the page and the Villain Squad page and cast your vote on that too. We'd love to get those votes over 1,000 for this, because this is something that goes to all for the fan bases. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson has been a mixed bag his entire career here so far. He looks like he's completely elite. He'll get 3 sacks in a game, and then, the stats drop off. Tell me about that, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, he commands a double team in every game. That, by definition, that is elite. I'm sorry. You don't double team players that aren't elite every single game. If you had someone else on the other side, he'd be feasting. When James Houston comes back, he's going to feast because of all the double teams that Aiden Hutchinson commands. His motor is incredibly high. He's young. He does have a little bit shorter arms, and that's the knock on him. But that spin move is deadly, and it takes 2 people to stop him. He leads this team in sacks, which, by the way, is only 28th of the league in sacks collectively. So if you are looking at only the sack total, maybe you're thinking that he's not elite. But if you look at the complete package, there are only a handful of edges in this entire league I would trade for Aiden Hutchinson. And based on his youth, that number gets even smaller. I wouldn't trade him for Trayvon Walker or Kayvon Thibodeau. Maybe JJ Watt. Yeah, I would. There's a couple others. Bosa, right? I'd trade him for those guys. Those guys are studs. They are elite. But Aiden Hutchinson definitely belongs in that conversation. Here's a good way of looking at it. If he's not elite, then TJ Hawkinson is not elite.
Oh, yeah, you went there. And that, why not? Why not? Explain yourself, because I think this is a good take.
Because George Kittle is a great tight end. I'd probably rather have Mark Andrews. I'd probably rather have Kittle. I'd rather have Kelsey than Hawkinson. But if you're going to put TJ Hawkinson on my team as the starting tight end, I'm going to be just fine with that.
Yeah.
Because he's elite. He's in the top 5. And I can't come up with 5 edge rushers I would take ahead of Aiden Hutchinson based on upside and production, what they've already done, what we've already seen. There are some really good ones that might be ahead of him now because they're more mature and more developed. But there aren't 5 that I can find that I would take over him. We've been having this discussion in the back chat, in the main event chat. And our good friends, Greg Rice, Jeremy Ballreich, some of these podcasters, they are saying that, Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals is a better edge rusher. Montez Sweat from Chicago is better. I would take Aiden Hutchinson all day and twice on Sunday over Montez Sweat. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, this is such a good topic that, I love that it sparks conversation. Head on over to the page and place your vote on that. And we're going to figure it out by the end of the week, and then we're going to close the voting on that.
Yeah,
But
Max Crosby. Max Crosby. Bear Down Mike. Mike the Bear. Excuse me. Bear Down Mike said Max Crosby. I'm sorry, I was remiss. I did not say that one. Sorry. Go ahead, Russ.
Oh, Crosby over Hutch. That's
absolutely.
That's well, yeah, but you're talking about a developed play. I think that Aiden Hutchinson is Max Crosby, but Max Crosby is Aiden Hutchinson in the future, like in 5 years, in 4 years. I think Hutchinson can be as good as Crosby. I think that's a great comparison. Actually, they're very, very similar. God, if you could have both of those guys, we hit that. Where is Hutchinson ranked for QB pressures? Here, let me see if I can go do some digging while you're talking
Jordan.
about that.
Jordan's, it's a rhetorical question. Jordan already knows the answer, that it's number 1.
Yeah, I want to see what that is, though. I mean, Hutch.
And also, he is the most double-teamed player in the league. So how can you be the most double-teamed player in the league and not be considered elite? I don't get it. And by the way, on that poll over on the Villain Squad, you should go over there and vote on it because we're trying to get that poll up to 1,000 votes. It is overwhelmingly elite, but that's a lot of Homer Lions fans. So I would love to see other fan bases go over there and vote and say no. And one of the third choice is not yet. So it's yes, no, and not yet. And that's certainly a valid answer that Hutchinson is not elite yet. I will accept that he's not yet elite because he's not yet past Max Crosby, not yet past Bosa, not yet past Myles Garrett, for God's sake.
Yeah, he has 6. And this is, let's just really put this into perspective for people that want to hate on Aiden Hutchinson. And this is all the way across 2023. His pass rushing grade on PFF is a 90.1, 85.7 in coverage, 67.7 in run defense, and 90 in overall defense. He has 6 sacks, 15 quarterback hits, 60 hurries, 26 tackles for loss. I actually, after looking at that, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. He is elite. He's a freaking stud. They do need somebody opposite of him. And in this last game, that guy was Josh Paschal, was getting pressure last week. But right there, I hope that answers the question. I think I answered the shit out of your question.
Sarah says not yet. Mike the Bear fan says Hutch is on his way to elite. Very good defensive player. We like that call.
Yeah, and I think that's where we can agree. We can agree that he isn't putting up elite numbers yet, but you can tell by his work ethic and who he is as a person that he is going to grind and grind and grind until he is one of the top pass rushers in this league. I believe that, but I can deal with somebody saying he's not elite yet, because an elite guy does stuff like, splits triple teams and says, F you, I'm going to get the sack anyway. That type of game changing. And he's done that from here and there. That's okay. But he doesn't do it all the time. So that's the biggest thing. So what do you think out there? Is Hutch elite? What do we have in there in the comments? Mike, you got anything up?
No, everything. I've been keeping up with it.
Okay.
Bear Down Mike asked Hutch over Donald, but Donald's an interior defensive lineman, so that's apples and oranges, Mike. Jean Moy says, If Hutch arms was a little bit longer, he'd be a beast. He's already a beast, John. You know that.
Now, I wanted to bring up that the Josh Pascal name again. If you want to compare a player to Donald, it's not Hutchinson, it's Pascal. Pascal, they moved inside to the 3 technique, and because Aleem McNeil has been gone, and he actually thrived there. He actually looked better in that position than even Aleem McNeil did. So I think Josh Pascal actually compares more to Aaron Donald than Aiden Hutchinson does. He's got a good move from the interior, Mike. That was something that we talked about in the draft process that I read on his draft profile, that he was very good at setting the edge at Kentucky, and his strength of pass rushing came from the interior because they'd move him inside on the passing down to where he could get a pass rush. So maybe they put 10 pounds on Pascal and he's the interior defensive lineman that we've been looking for, but let's see.
Yeah, I was thinking while you were talking, I could only come up with 4 edge rushers that I would take over Hutch. And that's TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Bosa, and Max Crosby.
So 4 guys that are paid.
That are at the top of the pay scale, in fact. Right. And there are a few that are at the top of the pay scale that I wouldn't trade Hutch for as well, including Montez Sweat.
So you're telling me right now, like in my mind, with what you just said, you gave me the reason why Hutch is absolutely the best out of those guys. I would take Hutchinson on a rookie deal before any of those guys on their max deals. Because how many years do I get at Hutchinson growing without paying him?
Myles Garrett's worth every nickel of what they pay.
I'm not saying he isn't worth it. I'm just saying, like, what you're looking at is building your team. You have a elite type pass rusher in Aiden Hutchinson, and you get to keep him for probably 2 more years before you have to pay him. That's good for team building. You're going to be able to put other guys around him now. So yeah, I like the Myles Garrett thing. And I think that Hutchinson in 2 years might be that good. You never know. I take Hunter over Hutch. Really right now, you would take your contract of Hunter over Hutchinson in going into the 3rd year of his rookie deal. You would take that?
I think Danielle Hunter is right below him in that, only because of Hutch's age and upside. But yeah, that's a good call, Sarah.
Right.
Danielle Hunter is no slouch.
Danielle Hunter's no slouch. And I'm not trying to take anything away from those players, but I'm talking about franchise building guys. I would take Hutch over Hunter because I got the contract. I ain't got to re-sign Hutchinson right now. You guys got to find a way to get him his $20 million if you want to keep him next year. You guys got to find a way to do that. And you probably will. You're not going to let Hunter go out the door, but you still got to pay him, where the Lions don't have to pay Hutchinson right away. And here's the final question that I have for today, which is, are you satisfied with your season? This is an NFC North show. If you're not part of the NFC North, you can chime in on this too. We're not Nazis about this, but for your NFC North team, if you're a Packer fan, are you satisfied with what they've gotten done this year? If you're a Vikings fan, you guys had NFC North winning aspirations at the beginning of the year. Are you guys satisfied with your season? We talked with Mike the Bear fan already, and he had said that he's satisfied with the growth and development of his team. And as Lions fans, we are too. But are you? I don't know what team you are, and make sure you put in the comments what team you represent when you put that in there, or let us know within the comment somewhere. Are you satisfied with your season? The things that you got done with your expectations, did they exceed your expectations? Did they fall right in line? Did you call it right? Were you like, I told of you guys, I know if they would have just listened to me, they would have gotten it down. And I'm so happy now that the Lions are winning, that Aaron Glenn got my email that said, you just need to blitz more, and now you're doing good on defense. thanks to me and my great analysis as the guy from the couch.
Aaron Glenn got his email.
He got his email.
You're watching Football Talk with Russell Wade. It's PFF Tuesday. Don't forget, tomorrow is Lions Talk Wednesday, brought to you by the Homer Depot.
The Homer Depot, Mike. You wanna plug? We're at 12:24, man. We have
I got to get off here too. Don't forget to join us every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time for NFC North Open Mic. We have all 4 fan bases in there, and we talk a little bit of smack, and we do a little football analysis. We got some great people like Steve, the Packer fan, A-Dub, the Packer fan. We got Bear Down Mike. We got all 4 fan bases in there. It's a really good time. We had a great show last night. We even had a Panthers fan in there talking smack against the Packers. So, join us Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I got to get out, brother. God bless you all.
Awesome. That's Main Event Mike right there. And yeah, you guys should join us for NFC North Open Mic. It gives you a chance to talk some smack on Monday nights. And Mike does a good job with that, man. It's a lot of fun. I know that, even when the teams aren't doing good, it's not as fun to come in and talk smack, but I appreciate guys like Don Mike. And Steve is real. Yeah. He took the off that. I can't believe he did that. And Mike the Bear fan. And A-Dub as a Packer fan. You're the best Packer fan that's out there. You've been in here every week after every single loss representing the team. I don't care how many wins you have. I don't care how many wins you have. NFL is the hardest to get wins in. And if you win, I don't care if you have 5 wins, if you're a Bear fan, if you guys get a win, you guys get to celebrate it for 7 days on this network, because we're not going to minimize victories. Well, maybe we do a little bit, but we have a little bit of fun with it. I love that you can come in and minimize all the Lions victories. That's fun. But we allow everybody to have that voice. Come in and represent your team even when you lose. Show that you're a real fan, that you ain't going to give up. You get in the middle, go into witness protection, be like, oh no, I'm going into rehab. I'm gonna, I don't know. I had a bunch of stuff going on. That's why I wasn't there. It wasn't because I'm not a fan of my team. Like, don't make excuses. If you're not here, you're not here. We were here for the entire offseason, and there were so many Packer fans, so many Bear fans, so many Viking fans in here all the time, talking all of that smack, talking and talking. Oh, we're going to kick your ass. You're the same, all of that stuff. And the Lions started winning, and y'all went into witness protection. Now, everybody has their excuse. Their dog died. Some bunch of stuff happened. Oh, I had other things going on. Oh, I had to go to work. Oh, I have a job. I have to go to work. So some of us have to do jobs. And it's like, well, you didn't have that job during the middle of the season when you was off season, when you was talking all that mess. You was talking all that mess, and it was good. It was so full on those Monday nights. It was so full that we had people waiting in the waiting room as Packer fans wanting to talk all that smack, and then they all went away. I give Bear fans the most credit for coming in and repping their team when they lose. I'm even ashamed of Lions fans. Lions fans lose, they act like they just lost 85 games in a row. They've lost 4 games this year, and if you talk to some Lions fans, you would think that they have a losing season. And it's really funny, but that's fine. That's fine. That's what's fun about it, guys. Come in and represent your team each and every day right here. This is Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Tomorrow we're going to be hitting all the Lions stuff. It's going to be all Lions all day. We invite everybody else in there to come in and do the trolling and stuff like that. But we're going to go over the game. We're going to really get into this Vikings matchup this week in Minnesota. The Lions have a chance to do something they've never done. They have never won the NFC North. Now, if you want to claim that NFC Central title that they got in, 91 or something like that, or whenever they won that the division is so long ago that I don't even want to mention it because it's not the North. They changed it to the North. Tampa Bay was in the division when the Lions won it. That's not even fair. They've won the Super Bowl in the new division since. So, Lions, you can't claim that. This will be the first NFC North title in history. And it's a big deal. And it's a big deal. I'm proud of the team for what they've done. Enjoy your victories, Lions fans, because you could lose all 3 games and miss the playoffs. All that is possible. We've been talking about those scenarios forever. Enjoy them while they're here. I caution you, don't bitch during victory week. It's not worth it. What do you get to say? Listen to me. All the haters out there, but that's cool. But faith, family, football, each and every day, 11 a.m. And we start with faith, and I'm going to sign off right here. We're going to start with some faith. Let me find my graphic right here so I can invite you to my church right there. Faith, family, and football. My church, NTC Church, the corner of Bristol and Belsey Road in Burton, Michigan, Genesee County. We gave away a bunch of turkeys, 400 of them for Thanksgiving. And now we're doing an angel tree donation. I got the link. The link is in the description for this. If you want to help a needy kid get a toy this year, bring some hope into somebody else's life. Faith, hope, family, and football. Family first, and then football. Use football to bring your family together. Don't let football use you. When you get those losses, don't be a dick. You don't have to. Use it. So may the Lord bless you. Thank you very much for watching. May the Lord keep you, and may the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again tomorrow morning for Football Talk with Russell Wayne. God bless.
It reminds me of a football show, Football Talk with Russell Wayne, 11 a.m. in the mornings. You should watch it because it could be good for you. It could be good for you. It could be good for your life.
What's up, y'all? This is Ifeatu Melifonwu, safety for the Detroit Lions. And I just want to take some time out to give a big shout out to Russell Wayne and Main Event Mike from the Detroit Lions Villain Squad. It's a fan page and a podcast. And I just want to say I appreciate the support of me and my team. And I encourage everyone to go check out their podcast and check out their fan page. Go Lions.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching the broadcast. What I like to do right here at the end, after the credits go in, it's kind of like a last call type of thing. But StreamYard allows us to broadcast in all these different spots at the same time. So while it's still live, I want to give you a link to our YouTube channel. If you could head over there, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate all the support. Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Thank you for turning this into something that's cool. I love coming in here every day. There you go. Mike, you're part of last call. What's up? You feeling good out there, Mike? You getting a lot done?
You ever meet somebody and they're so boring, you feel like they poisoned you? Like, you're talking to them and you're like, I feel like I'm dying right now. And I think you did it.
Only when Collinsworth is commentating do I ever feel like I'm dying on the inside. What is the key to the Lions' success right now? Let's ask Taylor Decker and Jameer Gibbs.
Here's the thing, though. What I've been doing is 3:30 every morning. That's I get up and I do my sprints. Yeah, I mean, those are prime sprinting hours. People don't realize. And that's how I know I'm succeeding, is if I'm doing my sprints while everyone else is asleep. It's a winning mindset is what it is. No, that's exactly what it is.
Hail to the king, baby. Hail to the king, baby.
No question about it, I am ready to get hurt again.
Life is not that complicated. You get up, you go to work, you eat 3 meals, you take 1 good shit, and you go back to bed. What's the fucking mystery?
There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious.
Peace up, A-Town. Peace up, A-Town. Yeah! Okay!
Hello? You play to win the game. You don't play to just play it. That's the great thing about sports. You play to win.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean I make medicine sick.